it's no coincidence that I've got Brian on as our special guest today, former City manager. So who better really to kick us off on this? What is it? And it might seem a fairly obvious thing to say. And if Pep was with us and he was talking, he might, because he simplifies everything down to the nth degree. You know, you just take the next game as it comes and all that sort of thing. But what, Brian? You've been a manager. You've been Manchester City's manager. You probably manage more games than practically anybody that's ever been involved in English football. Why is Pep Guardiola special? What makes him special?
You can't do what he's done at Barcelona and Bayern Munich and now at Man City if you're not a top coach. I think I've told you this story before. 2 years ago, February 4th, 2 years ago, it's my 70th birthday. It's Vincent Kompany's testimonial. They were announcing it in town, and all the players were there. He was there. Noel Gallagher did a piece, and it was all for charity. And Gary Lineker, no, it wasn't Gary Lineker. It was Gary Lineker, sorry. And Hugh Ferris from BBC. And you went, by the way, we've got Brian Horton in the audience today, ex-City manager. It's his 70th birthday today. Brian, stand up and take a bow. Later on in the night, and I'm looking at a photograph now where I'm sitting now. We've got a photograph now of me and my wife with Pep. So later on at night, he's getting on, and he's wanting the players to go because they're playing Everton this was on the Monday night. They're playing Everton on a Wednesday. He's wanting the players to go home and get some rest, but they couldn't do it because the things happening and Vincent talking and whatever, and Noel Gallagher doing his piece and whatever. And anyway, he turns up at the side of my table, and I'm like a young schoolboy. He's come over and he just said, "I've just come over to your table to say happy birthday, Brian." Wow. I mean, people where he's been don't have to do those kind of things, but that's what for me makes him what he is. Because he's like that, I think, with all his players. And he's got time for everybody. He's intense. You can tell that. And I said to him, I'm coming to lots of your games at the moment, watching you playing some great stuff. Can I come and see you train one day? Anytime, just to arrange it and come down. Because of the pandemic, I haven't been able to do it, but I still want to do it. As soon as that opens up again, I want Mike Summerby, which he's promised, that he'll take me down to a training session because Pep said he would. And I want to see, I'm not going to see everything he does because he'll do all that teamwork behind closed doors. Nobody sees what he does leading into games, but he's intense. He doesn't let up, does he? He's an eternal winner. He wants the best. He wants to be. You can see it when somebody just gives the ball away once. He's at them, and so he's got the best. He's looking for the best. And we didn't mention, or I didn't, three players: Sterling, Gundogan, and Bernardo Silva. When we're talking about players, I didn't mention those three. And look at those three. What those three are doing. They're all capable of scoring goals. And it's just got, which I agree with what we were talking about before. He's organised and they're better. Whatever he's done, and he's done something better at the back, aren't they? Because they're not conceding goals. Yes, players do make that. And Diaz has made a big walk as a good defender. But whoever he plays, left back, Zinchenko, Mendy sometimes, Cancelo, the holding midfield players, Rodri, who is for me is getting better and better to that role. And I've said it before, Fernandinho for me has been absolutely top draw. We're talking about top class players here. We're not talking about players that are mediocre. These are top class boys, and they've just gelled into a team that now are playing for each other without shadow. I'm not saying they didn't before, but they know the system. They know what he wants. That's why, and he has changed something to make them tighter and stronger defensively, because you don't do what they're doing, not conceding as many goals like that without work. And that's what he does for me, and that's what people tell me he does. He just drills and drills and drills and drills, and it takes some doing. It takes a period. You just can't. It just doesn't happen. That it takes a time, and unfortunately, in today's football and modern football, particularly probably all through the divisions, managers don't get enough time anymore. You just don't get enough time. I had 5 years in my first job at Hull because I got promotion in my first year, finished sixth, which was a joint highest the second season. So I've set my stall. And so then you can build, you can bring some youth players through and you develop them. And I went to Oxford and had 5 years at Oxford again. You can bring players through, Beauchamp and Chris Allen, good players that went on good careers. And then 5 years at Port Vale later on. You can build something. But today, you're lucky if you get 5 months. It's just crazy, So the people at the top there, we knew what they know what Pep was about. They know what he is about, and they backed him, haven't they? They backed him with the players that they brought in, and credit to his backroom staff there and the recruitment people, because the recruitment has been absolutely fantastic.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the things that really stands out that makes Pep different from me, which sounds a very obvious thing, and you must have wanted to drill this into every player you've ever managed, is a no excuse mentality. So when I was talking to the West Ham podcast, they were clinging at things like City have played in midweek in Hungary in the Champions League. They'll be tired, when they come back. And we hear that all the time. And I think if I remember rightly, Roberto Mancini used to say that quite a bit when City were coming back from European games. And it almost gave players a mental excuse. Pep seems to drill into his players that there is never a mental excuse. And I see on the pitch, every single player, when they go down, when something goes against them, they get up, they bounce back, and they're right at it straight away. And it feels like that no mental excuse at all times is crucial to what makes Pep special. Would you agree with that? And how hard is that to achieve, by the way, Brian?
Well, it is, because we're talking, say, about John Stones, that was bought for a lot of money. For me, really, really exceptional signing. And then he had a bad time. And Pep, when you listen to Pep about John Stones, all he praises is John Stones. He said he's done it. He doesn't take any credit for that, but he's got to take some credit for that, because he has put him back in and stuck by him. And confidence is a massive thing. That's one of the biggest things ever in a player or a team. And they're playing with confidence. Stones, you could see he's oozing with confidence. You see Cancelo. Cancelo's just risen for me and just got better and better over the last couple of months, because at times when he first bought him, it's a different game. It's a different game to Spanish or Italian. It's quicker. It's stronger mentality. You don't do what Pep's done over his career without being what he is. And I'd love to see him work. I saw Mancini work, Phil and I, when we were out to work, and we asked if we could go down. We asked through David Platt, and we went down, and he was coaching two teams because they're playing in Europe, and he hadn't decided what he was doing. So he's going from that team to that team, and it was fantastic to see him do it. Because Sarden was just coaching, thinking, well, that might be my team, or that might be my team, or that might be my team on Saturday. And these top coaches now are they're almost like geniuses. Their mentality, themselves, that breeds success, that breeds into players, and you can see them. And he makes them do it, doesn't he? That's the bottom line. It's like, somebody, when you talk about some of the older managers that won loads and loads of stuff, and you talk through Bill Nicholson and Matt Busby and Alex Ferguson, and some of the top. My manager David Pleat was fantastic. He taught me so much about playing that role, playing 4-3-3, which hardly anybody did at that time. We played 4-3-3, and nobody did it. I mean, we cruised the championship. Nobody could handle us. Nobody knew what, because we were, again, David Moss was outstanding. Brian Steen. I'm talking some of the younger viewers listeners won't know some of these players. But and David was the same. Drill every Friday, Thursday, Friday, whatever the team was going to be. And whether it was the same team, did it again. Free kicks, corners, do this when there's certain things happen. And it was every Thursday, Friday, just drill. And that's why you become a good team.
When you go down to have this individual session with Pep, you'll need somebody to carry your bag, Brian, won't you? So I am available, right? So
my wife's on that photograph, and I don't think she'd let you choose. I think she'd want to do it.